hear it, you'd have to probably watch it a couple times. You hear him say, Port Orange officer knows him by first name. He's calling him John Worms, and he's screaming that he's got a gun to his head as he's running away. The incident, first of all, let me tell you that our suspect in this case, the deceased, comes from a law enforcement family. Both his mother and father were career Broward County deputies. And I just talked to the father on the ride here. The guy's got a history of dating violence dating back to '08. Dating violence and stalking seem to be his big thing. He gets involved in an incident on the 27th where he slashes the tires of his ex-girlfriend's new boyfriend and starts to send Facebook messages threatening him and her. Eventually, he gets arrested on 10/27 in Holly Hill for aggravated stalking and for loitering and prowling. Holly Hill does a really good job. He's in the parking lot. He's getting ready to slash his ex-girlfriend's tires. She takes a restraining order out on him that he gets served at the branch jail with. And interestingly, she notes that he is in possession of a Glock 27 with multiple extended magazines of 18 rounds that she knows about. Last night, he goes back there again. Holly Hill goes to try to stop him. He flees on a motorcycle, and a bolo, be on the lookout, is put out. At that point in time, the detectives see him at LPGA in Williamson, put out the direction he's traveling. Our deputies pick him up on 95 as he's getting off on Taylor Road, and then calls for backup units. And Port Orange shows up as he enters the 7-Eleven on Taylor Road. They give commands for him to get his hands out of his pockets. He runs with the gun to his head, and when he gets just beyond that sign, he turns, levels the firearm at officers and the deputy, and they return fire, and they shoot and kill him. They had an incident in Port Orange in July where he makes a phone call and talks about he wants to kill himself, but he doesn't have the guts to do it. He's going to make the police do it. All the information we have about him is his last 3 girlfriends. Everybody's got a protection order against him. There's a pattern of slashing tires, and it seems like since July the wheels have gone off. They know he's armed. He's threatening people. Family members are scared to death of him. And you know, obviously last night, I think we were all pretty lucky. Not one police officer or deputy got hurt. Not one of these victims, the girlfriend from Holly Hill or her boyfriend who lives in DeLand, they could have very easily been part of a murder-suicide plot. And I think it just goes to show you how deadly our job is. The deputy that fired last night, 2 weeks ago, we released a video of him on a car stop in Daytona Beach where he orders the guy out of the car, and the guy reaches under the seat and comes out with a firearm, and he wrestles the guy to the ground without firing shots. And here we are 2 weeks later, you have a guy with a fully loaded Glock who, I mean, there's no doubt he's going to turn and make a stand against officers, and we have to do what we have to do to protect ourselves. So I'll let the chief jump in there because it's the city of Port Orange who did a phenomenal job.
Thank you, Sheriff. So, you know, unfortunately we're standing here today talking to you about this, and it's an unfortunate incident. Somebody lost their life, and it's unfortunate because it didn't have to happen. It was unnecessary. You saw yourself on the videos, or on the video, he was given orders and demands and commands to stop and to drop his weapon. He had ample opportunity multiple times to comply with the officers, and he chose not to. So I think what's important to understand here is our officers and our deputy reacted to an action that he made. And I think that's really important to note. Our jobs are very, very dangerous. There's inherent risks in our jobs, and each officer, each deputy, the day they're sworn in, they know that. But, you know, our citizens' safety is paramount, and our officers' safety is paramount. And they reacted in the way they were trained, and they reacted properly. So it's unfortunate, but the reality is the suspect had control of how this ended. And he chose one way And that's why we're standing here before you tonight.
Jeff, can you tell us about the conversation with his parents?
Yeah, it was a little heartbreaking coming from a law enforcement family, but I also understood what he was saying. He said, you know, he's my son and I love him, but you know what? He's been a problem child forever. You know, when he was in Brevard County, he said there were a lot of incidents with speeding and different issues. He said, and he was a kid that I could not reach. No matter how hard me and his mom tried to reach him, we couldn't reach him. Even the parents of our victim in Holly Hill, 3 weeks ago, as a couple, they were in Tennessee to visit his dad. And he said they seemed to be a happy young couple. He said, and then I get a phone call from the young lady's father saying, listen, he's threatening the life of my daughter, he's slashing my tires, he's coming on my property. I'm telling you, I'm going to have to protect my daughter from your son. I don't want to do that, but I'm telling you what I got to do. He's out of control. And for the past 3 weeks, mom and dad have been trying to get him the help that he needs. And obviously there are some mental issues here. There's a lot of anger for some reason toward women. When you go back through his history and the protection orders and the aggravated stalking and the threats, you know there's somebody off the rails here. And it's fortunate that thank the good Lord that none of these ex-girlfriends were killed last night, because clearly he was on a mission. You know, Holly Hill went to stop him and he fled from Holly Hill. It's not the first time that he fled from them. And the bolo that came out last night was that he was armed, he was headed to the land, and everybody knew he lived in Port Orange because he's had a relationship with a lot of law enforcement officers